The Batman, which comes out in just a few months. I had a lot of worries about it. I was scared, just like anything that comes out in modern day media. I was nervous. Is it going to be filled with a woke agenda? Is it going to be filled with SJW politics? Maybe, maybe not. I didn't know I didn't love Robert Pattinson for the casting. I wish he would have got yacked. I thought Ben Affleck looked fantastic as Batman. Batman is built like a door. He's wide, he's big. But in an article I just read, Bound into Comics, I might, dare I say, have a little hope. So, go in here, Bound into Comics. Robert Pattinson describes Bruce Wayne as a weirdo. Says his Batman persona is almost like a drug addiction. That reads the same. Great poster. It's a good poster. Like I said, I wish he was a little bit bigger. Pattinson made these comments in a recent interview with GQ to promote the upcoming film. First, Pattinson detailed he had seen a rough cut of the film detailed in the opening shot. The first shot is so jarring from any other Batman movie that it's kind of a totally different pace. It was what Matt was saying from the first meeting I had with him. I want to do a 70s noir detective story, like The Conversation, and I kind of assumed that meant the mood board or something, to the look of it, sorry. But from the first shot, it's, oh, this is actually a detective story, he elaborated. Which me, personally, Batman is the world's greatest detective. That's what Batman's always been about. Yes, he's basically a ninja with all these high-tech gadgets, but at the bottom of it, he's a detective. He figures out and solves crimes. That's what he's always been about. Me, I've always thought Batman would come across better as a series. And yes, the animated series was fantastic back in the 90s, but if, God, I don't even know a streaming service I would want to touch Batman right now. But I feel like Batman would always come across really well in an elongated series, kind of like a Daredevil. Pattinson then revealed he had no idea Batman was an actual detective. Scares me. Do a little research on the character, and I feel like Pattinson said, and I feel like an idiot because I didn't even know Batman. I didn't even know that Batman was the world's greatest detective. I hadn't heard that before, but it really plays. Just because there's a lot of stuff where he's amongst the cops. Normally, when you see Batman, he arrives, beats people up, but he has conversations, and there are more emotional scenes between them, which I don't think have been in any of the movies, he explained, which I'm okay with. Batman working with the Gotham police. We see him working with Jim Gordon, but if we could see the police actually embrace him as a hero, not as just a vigilante, that would be very interesting. That would make his decisions on what to do with criminals much more impactful. Does he let the cops take the collar? Does he let them have, the glory of the bust? Or does the Batman get it? There's a lot of cool things they could do with this movie. This is year 2 Batman. From there, Pattinson revealed Bruce Wayne will not be a playboy in the film. Don't love that. He relayed, I've definitely found a little interesting thread. He doesn't have a playboy persona at all. So he's kind of a weirdo as Bruce. He's kind of a weirdo as Bruce and kind of a weirdo as Batman. And I kept thinking there's a more nihilistic slant to it. Because normally in all the other movies, Bruce goes away, trains, and returns to Gotham, believing in himself, thinking, I'm going to change things here. But in this, it's sort of implied that he's had a bit of a breakdown. Yeah, Bruce Wayne is kind of a crazy person. Bruce Wayne is just as much Batman is Bruce Wayne. That's kind of the thing of his character. Batman is one bad day away from being his biggest villain. And Bruce Wayne puts on that playboy persona to draw people off the path that he might be Batman. Because, this guy dresses a flying rodent with all these high-tech toys in a realistic mindset. Who can afford that? But Bruce Wayne puts on a playboy persona, kind of throw them off the path right there. I don't love that Pattinson says he's not going to have a playboy persona, But if this movie, I think it's going for a darker tone, it's going for a much more thriller-ish type of theme, I'm okay with it. I'm actually okay with it. I hope it's good. God, they could screw this up. He elaborated, but this thing he's doing, it's not even working. Like, it's 2 years into it, and the crime has only gotten worse since Bruce started being Batman. The people of Gotham think that he's just another symptom of how shit everything is. Pattinson then went on to reveal another scene from the film. There's a scene where he's beating everyone up on the train platform, and I just love that there's a bit in the script where the guy he's saving is also like, it's worse. You're either being mugged by some gang members or a monster comes and like fucking beats everyone up. The guy has no idea that Batman has come to save him. It just looks like a werewolf. Well, year 2, I feel like people should know. People should know that Batman is on their side. People should be behind the Bat at this point, the people of Gotham. And he even said before, maybe the police are working with him. People should be behind that Batman is there to help him. However, like I said, from the trailer that was previously put out, I think I know the scene they're talking about. When he's beating the brakes off those cats on the train platform that it looks like, and they ask him, who are you? He said, I'm Vengeance. Like that kind of sounds like Batman. That seems like something Batman would do. Zoe Quinn, I think her name is, as Catwoman. Again, they tried to make him look a little wider than he really is, I think. I think the armor's going to buff him out a little bit. The actor went on to state, and I kept trying to play into that. I kept trying to think, and I'm going to express this so badly, but there's this thing with addressing trauma. All the other stories say the death of his parents is why Bruce becomes Batman. And I was trying to break that down in a way I thought was real, instead of trying to rationalize it. He's created this intricate construction for years and years and years, which is culminated in this Batman persona. But it's not like a healthy thing that he's done. No, Bruce Wayne is batshit crazy. Bruce Wayne is fucking nuts. Bruce Wayne is off his rocker. He is doing something no normal person would do. Even with someone with his type of skills, most people wouldn't do that. You don't see a lot of UFC fighters, high-level UFC fighters, go putting on capes and masks and cowls and go fighting crime. Granted, I get it. It's a comic book. I understand that. But this is something that Bruce Wayne has constructed in his head, and it does all derive from the death of his parents. This is where it comes from. He then claimed being Batman is almost like a drug addiction. He attempted to justify this claim by detailing another scene. GQ paraphrased him, writing, "There's a moment when Alfred asks Bruce what his family would think of him tarnishing the family legacy and his new side hustle. Pattinson then said, Bruce said, this is my family legacy. If I don't do this, there's nothing else for me. I always read that as not like there's nothing else, like I don't have a purpose, but like I'm checking out." And I think it makes it a lot sadder. Like, it's a sad movie. Yes, Batman is a tragic, tragic story of an orphan who really had to struggle to find himself, find a new purpose in life. It's kind of about him trying to find some element of hope in himself, not just the city. Normally, Bruce never answers questions about his own ability. He answers questions the city's ability to change. But I mean, it's kind of such an insane thing to do. The only way I can live is to dress up as a bat, he asserted. Pattinson then concluded with a laugh. DC is kind of an emo comic. There's a nihilistic side to it. Even the artwork is really, really different. So hopefully there's a lot of sad people in the world. Well, Batman again comes out March 4th, 2022. It'll arrive on HBO Max 45 days after, on April 22nd. Batman is a very tragic character. He's sad. Like I said before, he's one bad day away from being his biggest enemy. DC's always been very dark when it comes to Batman. I've always said I think DC has more interesting characters and Marvel has better movies. Marvel has better entertainment. Kind of a thing. It's I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. Everything I've heard about this movie, I'm very intrigued with. Um, I'm just very skeptical also about anything coming out in the modern era. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe to this video. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll talk to you later.